Make sure for this sequence that you have a blanket or a thick beach towel. I'll use mine for the sequence, and then a block or two, and I'll get you some. All right, we're going to start in child's pose. So you can decide how you like to do this child's pose. If you want to take the knees wide, toes touching, stretch the hands down the mat and rest the forehead on the mat. You can rest the forehead on a block. Or if you want to use your blocks out in front and place your elbows on the block, take prayer hands and drop the head down to get more of a side body stretch at the same time. So go ahead and get settled, and then begin to notice your breath. Notice your ribs expanding with each inhale and contracting with each exhale. Begin to relax your jaw, your forehead. Let your shoulders melt down. Begin to notice your thoughts and feelings, any emotions that come up while you're in this pose. Today I want you to, we've been practicing watching and looking for our thoughts and just noticing our thoughts. So today I want you to start to notice what type of thought it is that you're having, or maybe especially the repetitive thoughts. If you have the same thoughts that just keep popping up or the same images, then try to decide, is it a worry thought? Is it a frustration thought? Is it sadness? Is it anger? What type of thought is it? Once you figure out kind of what's driving the thought by labeling it to an emotion, you can just ask yourself, is this thought necessary? And slowly come up to tabletop. Draw your knees in underneath your hips and sway your hips side to side. And then you can tuck your toes, sit back on your heels, and grab your blanket. I found that blanket. You're going to unfold it so that it's just folded one time in half. And then you'll fold it long side to long side many times, or you can roll it. It's just creating padding for your knees. So you have like a long enchilada type blanket. And that's going to go perpendicular to your mat. Then take your blocks or one block out in front and bring your knees onto the blanket. And we're going to take the knees wide for frog pose. Stay here on your hands at first. So knees go wide, maybe to the edges of your mat, or maybe you need to go a little further. It's up to you. And you're going to come on down to the inside edge of the back feet. The back feet, your only feet. The inside edges, so the heels may touch down and they may not, and that's okay. And from here, you can stay here on your hands or maybe drop to your elbows on your block. We are targeting the inner thighs, so if you're not feeling sensation there, you may try taking your knees a little wider or sending the hips back toward the heels slightly. And take your time doing that because we want to find that mild edge. So we're looking for the first, right where your body stops at first when you go into the pose, and then you relax into that. Then try to become still once you find your pose that you're feeling a mild sensation in. Relax the muscles around the targeted area, which is outer hips, inner groin area. If you're still not feeling enough sensation, you may drop your block or come down to your elbows on the mat. Maybe you can go all the way down, flattening your belly, but just keep that mild edge of resistance. And then notice your thoughts in this pose. And slowly come up to your hands and bring the knees, keep the knees actually right where they are. You're just going to move your block off to the side. And you're going to walk down your mat onto your belly. Feet go up in the air and come together. So you're going to be in a Sphinx pose with your elbows underneath your shoulders, hands out like the number 11. You can stay here. Or if that's too much, you can take the elbows out to the sides and lower down, dropping the forehead down to your hands. And in this practice tonight, I'd like you to try, you don't have to do it the whole time, but anytime you think about it, try breathing in this way. You're going to sip the breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but it's going to be a short, gentle inhale through the nose, like you're sipping hot chocolate or coffee or tea. And then a long exhale through the nose, but nice and soft and gentle. So the breath is gentle, short inhale, long, calm, slow exhale through the nose. And bring your feet down nice and slow. Bring your legs together and rest your forehead on your hands in a prone Shavasana position. And then reach down and take that blanket out from underneath you. Come back onto your belly, and we'll take open wing. So from open wing, we'll take the left hand out to the side. The right hand goes underneath the right shoulder. And then we're going to slowly roll onto our left side with our knees out in front stacked together. You can rest your head down to the mat or to a block or to a blanket if you need it. If you need more sensation, take that right knee pointing up to the sky behind you, and you get like a little twist happening in the spine as well. If this is too much on your shoulder, you can always just come back a little bit, taking your chest more toward the ground. Just find that mild edge of resistance and relax into that. So open wing is actually targeting the lung channel, the meridian in Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine, the lungs always kind of become deficient in the fall time. There's all those allergens in the air, and there's, the flu comes around, and other respiratory illnesses start to happen in the fall. So by working this channel and stressing the fascia that it's embedded in, it kind of just helps let the energy flow through that channel a little bit more and kind of opens things up. It's kind of like acupuncture, except we're using our body to add the stress. We're stressing the fascia, which is kind of doing a similar thing as acupuncture to our body. And come back slowly to your belly. You can bring the left hand back inside and rest your forehead on your hands again in that prone shavasana position. Or if you want to bring that left arm down, if that feels better for a counter pose, you can do that. And from here, take that left arm, the forearm, underneath your forehead. Bend the right knee, taking your heel toward your glute. Reach back with your right hand and grab that foot. If you're not able to reach your foot, you can use that blanket that we just used, and you can wrap it around the front of your foot and hold on that way. And just rest your forehead on that forearm. A little quad stretch here. Now, this quad stretch is actually working your stomach meridian, but it's also working the lungs. Like, how does your quad work your lungs? Well, that channel runs through the front of the leg. And slowly release that foot. Come back into that prone Shavasana position and see if you can notice the energy just kind of dispersing out of wherever you were feeling the sensation. And from here, we'll take open wing on the other side. So right out of your arm socket there as much as you can. And left hand goes underneath your, and you'll roll up onto that right side and take the knees out in front, stacked. Again, if you need more sensation, take that top knee up to the sky and behind the bottom foot. You get a little twist happening. And we're having these images and thoughts come up. The best images and thoughts, sometimes they're frustration or anger or boredom. And just label those as such. And as we journal later after class, and you put that all down on paper, you can maybe see a pattern in your thinking. And I think whenever you have those unpleasant thoughts or emotions, this practice helps you sit with those, and you can learn to relax into those. So when you have those unpleasant thoughts or feelings, just relax the body. You can focus back on your breath. Allow it to pass through you. And come back down to your belly. Take that prone Shavasana position, crossing your hands at the top of the mat, and rest your head down. And then slide your right forearm underneath your forehead. Bend the left knee reach back with the left hand and grab those toes, or use your strap or your blanket to help you. And sometimes we have pleasant thoughts. They're not always sad and anger and whatever. Sometimes we have pleasant ones. But what you want to practice is to not cling to any thought. So even if it's an amazing thought, it's still ever changing, coming and going. And by clinging to thoughts or feelings, you're causing stress, disharmony. So just try to surrender and let your thoughts float by, let your emotions float by, and just don't cling to any of them. Just let them pass by, and you're just noticing them. And slowly release the foot and come back into that prone Shavasana position. Still trying to sip the breath when you remember. Gentle, short inhale and long, gentle exhale through your nose. And slowly come up to your hands, press up to tabletop, and we're just going to take a short little child's pose with the knees together this time. You can rest the hands alongside the legs, rest the forehead down to a block or to the ground. If this hurts your knees too much, you can just stay here in puppy pose with the knees up higher.
And slowly come up
to tabletop. When you get there, we're going to take dragon pose. So if you have a blanket and tender knees, take that blanket underneath your back knee. You take a block out in front. Let's start with the left foot this time first, as we always start with the right. So left foot forward. You can take baby dragon, they call it, when you have the block to the inside of that left foot, and you stay straight on right here. Sending the hips toward the ground, but find your first edge of resistance and then relax into that. You do want to make sure that knee is behind the hips, the back knee. You look good. If you want to take some little neck circles, you can do that. So drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Stay here for 5 breaths. And take the left ear to the left shoulder. And bring the head back to center. If you want to wing that left knee out to the side a little bit and drop a little bit closer to the earth, you can try that, or any other variation of dragon that you like. And we'll take our chin to the sky. And chin to chest. And how are your thoughts in this pose compared to the last pose we did? And bring the knee back to center if it's winged out, and send the hips back toward the back heel, straightening that front leg, and pull the left toes up to the sky just for a little counter stretch in a half splits here. And then bring that left foot back, and we'll send the right foot forward for dragon on the other side, baby dragon. So find your mild edge and relax into that edge. This is one of those lucky poses that hits a lot of the Chinese meridians in the body. 3 of the major ones run right through the inner leg, the inner thigh. So that's kidney, spleen, and liver channel. So when you do this pose, it hits those. It also targets the lungs because it's getting the front of the leg, front of the thigh. It's a really good pose, even though it is a spicy one. And from here, you can wing that right knee out to the side for winged dragon if you like, or whatever variation of dragon that you like to take here. And if your wrists start to hurt, you can make fists and put your knuckles on the ground. That should help with that. And bring the knee back to center. If it was out to the side, slowly send the hips back and straighten that front leg. Stretch the toes up to the sky. And then bring that right foot back to meet the left. We're going to come down to our bottom, a seated position. And this is going to look opposite on the camera, but just listen to my words. We're going to come in a deer pose with the right shin will be parallel to the top edge of your mat. The left shin will be parallel to the side of your mat, doesn't have to be exact. And then you're going to take your block all the way up to the left hip. Then take your blanket on top of that block. Now, if you're super tall, you might need to use 2 blocks. Okay? You can just bunch the blanket up right there. And just try it. You may not need 2 blocks. You may need to adjust the height of the block. And so what we're going to do is lateral deer pose. So take your right arm up to the sky. It's going to head over to the left. So it's going to hang on your head or float in the air. And you're going to lean your body over this little bolster thing that we made. So we're laterally flexing the spine to the side. You can come down to that left elbow. Your left hand can hold your head. That right arm's overhead, just dangling in the air or just resting on your head. I like to hold my head with my left hand, or you can just let your head hang down. But I feel like it just feels better with my head supported. And then begin to relax the side body here. We are targeting the right side body, so make sure you're feeling a sensation there. If not, you need to adjust the height of your block and blanket. The first time I did this pose in this sequence, I felt almost like a zing going up my side body all the way to my ear. And this is actually a spleen pose. It targets the spleen meridian. And the channel actually goes up to your ear. So see if you notice that. You may not notice any sensation there, but if you do notice any ear sensation, it's because you're stimulating that fascia and the channels there. And using your hands, help your body come up. Nice and slow. And then take your hands out behind you, resting on your hands, and just windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then whenever your knees fall over to the right, we'll switch to the other side. There we go. Almost lost my mic for a second. All right, so this time your left shin's parallel to the back edge of the mat, the right shin to the side edge of your mat approximately. And when you're ready, we'll lean over onto that right elbow, take the left arm overhead, and you might have to take the elbow out further so that you can really drape your midsection onto that little bolster that we made. Begin to relax the side body. Relax the belly. And using your hands, bring yourself back up. Once you get back up, move your blocks and blanket out to the side, and we'll roll onto our back. Oh, that's really dark. Can't see me then. Okay, roll all the way down to your back. Give your knees a big hug when you get there. Let the knees fall over to the right. And slowly open your chest up to the left. You can let your arms stay on your abdomen or let them open up to the sides. And bring the knees back into your chest for a hug. Then let them fall over to the left. And open your chest slowly up to the sky. Arms can come out or stay on your abdomen. The supine twist targets all of the meridians in the body because they all intersect in the abdomen and along the spine. So by doing these gentle supine twists, you're helping all the Chinese meridians in your body. That's why we like to do those little dessert poses at the end. And then bring the knees back in for a final hug. And relax down for Shavasana, final resting pose. Cover up with a blanket if you're cold. And before you fully relax, take three-part breaths. Inhaling, filling your belly up with air, then letting your ribs expand and let your upper chest expand. Exhale, upper chest, ribs, belly, button to the spine. See if you can do a couple more rounds like that. And this diaphragmatic breathing does wonders for your body. If you can breathe like that a few times a day before bed, it's supposed to do amazing things for you. And once you complete those breaths, just allow your breathing to become soft and gentle. Close your eyes if you like, and relax your body all the way from your head to your toes. And bring awareness back to your breath. Bring movement back into your body. And roll over to one side of your body. And when you get there, take a moment to think about your practice and reflect on your thoughts, any emotions or images that came up in your mind. And inhale the biggest breath of the day. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And press up to a seated position. Bring your hands together at heart center and bow your chin to your chest. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. Thank you guys for joining me and sharing your practice with me. Please drink a big glass of water after this to help flush out all the toxins that we squeezed out of your fascia. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.